All right. So as always, we are going to kick things off with Buy, Rent, Burn. This is the opening segment of the podcast where we select 3 games. We each play them individually, and we decide whether we would individually buy, rent, or burn those 3 games. The system of choice this episode is the Atari 2600. Andy has selected Porky's. Justin has gone with Chuck Norris Super Kicks, and I've gone with Blueprint. So let's go back up to the top, and we're gonna discuss each of these games individually. We'll start off with Andy's pick, Porky's. I'll read the description on this one here. Revenge is sweet, and you're out to get it. You've been had at Porky's, and you're out to blow it away. The action's hot and heavy, and it's up to you to keep Pee-wee on his toes. If he succumbs to distraction, it's the pits. It's more fun than a greased pig. It's a blast. Sounds nothing like the game I played.
Well, I can't comment on how fun a greased pig is, so you can't really go from there.
Justin, you've got a story, right?
I don't know about that, but maybe another time.
Okay.
Yeah. So if people aren't familiar, Porky's is a movie from the 80s that is kind of well known for being really raunchy for its time.
Right.
So that was the reason I picked it, just because I was surprised that got a game. There's a lot of other adult games on Atari, but they were all more on the violent end, like horror movies and stuff like that. Never like on the more sexual side, other than Custer's Revenge, but that's not licensed either. So, or, it's not a whatever, but, but this game, Porky's, is kind of an actual real game. It's not like throw it in your face right away as far as the adultness.
Right. You gotta wait for the third screen for the adultness. That's
right. So you start off doing like a Frogger type section across like all these different boats, and I don't even know what all the characters are because it's Atari, right? Like it's
right.
What is that hieroglyph? Whatever you think it is, it's like a Rorschach test, but yeah, so like and then you fall down a pit if you get hit, and you basically have a pole that you have to go like springing back and forth for. And then you jump up high off the pole, grab this like little yellow blinking thing, build a ladder, you get out of the pit, and you're in a shower with a basically naked lady showering right in the middle of your screen.
In all her pixelated
and that was
glory.
probably the right. And they knew they had to put the most detail into that model in the whole game. That's right there. But then there's like I don't know, a fat person that chases you around to, I'm guessing it's the coach or the gym person.
Yeah.
Gym teacher from the movie. So eventually she catches you. You could try and climb ladders, try to get away. I couldn't get past this screen. I didn't know what to do. There was like a yellow thing at the top.
I know the yellow thing.
Do with it.
I know it's a bomb, and you're supposed to use it like the description says to blow the place up. But yeah, I could not figure out how to activate it. I pushed it off the ledge. And then I pushed it down in the pit. That apparently wasn't the right thing. I don't know.
Huh? Yeah. So I tried, like a lot of Atari games, you just don't know what to do.
Tried to make it land on the person chasing you, and I have no idea either.
Right. I mean, I feel like, not that there's a lot of depth to any Atari game, but like the sole reason to play this game is just for like the crudely drawn woman taking a shower, like in the middle of your screen for an Atari 2600 game. And then like after that, I was like, okay, I've seen this game now. Like I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, the pit thing was fun for the first couple times, I thought, but after that, it's not.
Right. After the 20th time of like pole vaulting yourself across the screen, you're like, I'm done. And then like that opening section too, where you had to like grab those bricks or whatever the fuck that was to build the ladder to get out of there. It's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just kept hitting buttons and I was like, oh, I stacked something. Cool. Like, this is fun. That pit reminded me so much of E.T. Atari 2600. Like, I was just like, this is sure. I'm in the pits of hell. This is not great.
You know what it reminded me of? Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, where he's pole vaulting across water back and forth.
Oh, God.
And the same thing happens in that movie. He's taking the pole vault just to go see some tits. It's monster tits, but
how dare you make me relive that nightmare of a movie? Ugh.
It's uncanny. Like the guy.
Oh, yeah, you have a great point. Like it is. Let somebody ROM hack this, please, and make it The Last Jedi, Luke's adventure. Like, yeah, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, you pull vault back and forth a couple times, and if you make it to the second screen, you get some green milk.
You get to milk them titties from whatever walrus alien that thing was. Oh God, that sounds so much better than this actual game. I'll give it good. Like it was playable and like the art style was good for an Atari 2600 game, but
yeah,
I don't know. It kind of suffers from a lot of the stuff of that era. Was like it's just so plain due to the graphics that it's hard to really know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it is, later on in the lifespan of the Atari, so the graphics are all going to be good on all three of these games, really, compared to like the early games. But
yeah, I liked it. I mean, I spent the most time with this one for sure. Not to say that that's like a lot of time, but I spent a good amount of time.
How much less would it be if it didn't have nudity?
Oh, like a minute. If I hadn't stumbled across that hot shower scene, I would have stuck around. All right, let's move on to Justin's pick. Chuck Norris Super Kicks. This has got a lengthy description. Chuck Norris Super Kicks is an action game developed by VSS and published by Zaxxon or Zononix, whatever, it doesn't matter, which was released in 1983, which I'm pretty sure that's not the description on the game. I think somebody just wrote that into GameFAQs as a factual thing. So I'll make up a description. Chuck Norris Super Kicks. It's a game with Chuck Norris. He does kicks. They're super. Justin, why don't you tell us about this game?
Well, this one, I really didn't know what I was doing. It's kind of, you wander around and you engage in random battles, I guess. And I would just stand there and block. So the fight would take forever, and then I get bored and let them kill me. And then I'd go the same path, because it's either that path or the other path, and you get in a fight and lose. Ryan was saying, though, that you can actually attack.
Yeah, so it is weird, like how you said, it's like random encounters. It's almost like an action RPG where like you walk up and then you're thrown into a random encounter and there's enemies on the screen. So the way you attack, which is like, this is the total fault of the design of the Atari 2600, is the single button, one joystick controller. So in order to kick, you have to hold down, which moves you also, and press the button. You can do up and button, which is punch, but the punch has no reach, or you can do direction towards the enemy, and the button, which blocks. Kicking, I found, was the most effective way to like clear guys off the screen, which is kind of frustrating because in those random encounters, you have to take out like 4 dudes before it lets you like progress again, which is way too many for how hard it is to kick. Like, because it's not like the random encounter you come against the guy and he's stationary. Like he runs like he's got his fucking hair on fire back and forth across the screen. So you're trying to like battle these horrendous controls and take them out. It was just, I was instantly pissed at that game. Not fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the same issue as Justin. Like I couldn't reliably pull off the jumps, the kicking and the punching, because I had no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
Once you say like how to do it, I could probably go back and maybe do it a little bit better.
But you still wouldn't want to do it though. That's the problem.
Right.
You know?
Like this is not a good Chuck Norris simulator. Like you don't feel powerful at all.
There were no fists coming out of my beard. This is bullshit. I didn't have a cowboy hat. What's going on?
A Dodge Ram. The time you would actually get the punch or kick, you'd be so far away from the guy. And you'd be like, hey, shit, how'd I do that?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then like they give, like from the get-go, they give the enemies just like every 10 seconds they get to throw a ninja star that like one hit kills you. Like what bullshit is that?
See, I was
you can block it.
I thought with the block. And I was like, let me throw it back. I can't.
Really, they were just getting lodged in Chuck's forearms.
Yeah.
So.
He's like the shredder now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's I do like the paths that you have to walk. That's kind of cool in a game like that. You know, different ways you have to like, I don't know, travel, I guess, but
Yeah.
and it does, out of the 3 games, it's the only one that had the signature walking of
Yes, that's true. That is a hallmark of that era of gaming.
Yeah.
We don't have background music, so we have to put the footsteps in. Yeah, it was like the shittiest RPG I've ever played. It's pretty much how this felt like. The disgrace is Chuck Norris's legacy. All right, so let's go on to Blueprint. This is my pick, of course. So the description on this one, I think this was an arcade game, so that's probably why this actually has a description. But chivalry is not dead. Fair Daisy damsel is being pursued by mean Ollie Ogre. Only you have the blueprint for the machine that can stop him. But oh no, where did the parts go? In and out of houses you go, searching for the pieces that will fit the blueprint. But beware, a bomb may be waiting for you as soon as you enter. Quick, get it to the pit before it blows. It's a non-stop cliffhanger that really tests your memory. Go to it, hero. Do it for Daisy. I wish I'd have read that description, because I just thought once you got the bomb, you were fucked. And I died every time. I gave up. I'm like, I'm just going to wait and die.
Yep. I kept like going to the monster to try and blow him up.
Yeah, I did too.
Work.
And you die as soon as he touches you.
Yep.
Yeah.
They actually knew what to do with that.
So basically,
after a couple tries, I did, at least.
Yeah. So basically, this game is what the description alludes to, is that it's basically a game of memory. The weapon you need to build, which is like a dick-shaped laser, is built up of certain segments, which then at the beginning of the level, it breaks them apart and throws them into like, I don't know, there's like 8 buildings on screen. So basically you do like a Pac-Man style map to go in there and retrieve the pieces in the order you need based on your memory of how it threw them in there at the opening. And if you go to the wrong ones, you end up with bombs, which can kill you, or apparently you go to the water and put the bomb out. Would have been good to know. So it's memory with a little bit of avoiding an enemy. There's like the enemy guy just walks around the town. So in between grabbing the pieces you need and stacking them up to build a weapon, you just have to avoid getting hit and killed by the enemy, which isn't really that difficult, I guess. And then once you've assembled the weapon, the dick laser, you just like sit there and shoot up across the screen to try and... It's like the Daisy chick and then the Ollie, the ogre, just run across the screen in a constant loop. So you have to like time your shots. It is the slowest firing gun I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I couldn't get it to work.
Yeah, I got to the second stage once and I hit him and then it just resets and it's all over again. There isn't a lot to this game. It's like memory meets Pac-Man meets the worst shooter you've ever played. Meets Missile Command, maybe. There you go. Except all of those things I just said were way better than the actual game we played. It had music, though.
Yeah.
Full run across the screen for that weapon to actually hit the guy.
Oh, for sure.
If not more.
Dick lasers are highly ineffective.
Like, you outran it this time, but wait till you come around again. It'll hit you.
We'll get you.
So did you have the issue?
I mean, this... Oh, go ahead.
Did you pick up the piece in the wrong order and then not know what to do with it too?
Yeah.
I figured out pretty quickly that you had to return it to the house, but yeah, I was like, I didn't realize it mattered at first. And then once I figured out I could put it back down, I was like, okay, well, that helps.
Right. That's what got me the longest, because I went down to the pit right away. I was like, oh, you can't drop it there. And then I got one of the bombs first and I dropped it in the pit. And then I was like, I wonder if you can put the piece there. But then what do you do? But you have to go back in the house.
Yeah, it's a bizarre game. I would say it's like pretty ambitious for something that they... I mean, obviously this was an arcade game. It's pretty ambitious for something that they ported to the 2600 as far as like what you need to do, and then like it actually kind of making sense. It is. I picked this game because I was a kid and I had no clue how to play this whatsoever. Didn't get it, and like I figured it out relatively quickly here. And it was better than I remember, but I can't say that it's still a great game. Like I just think about this as like an arcade game, and like throwing a quarter into that makes me kind of cringe.
It looks awesome though. Like the graphics for the arcade game look way better.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, and the sound, I thought that, just like the fact that there was music in the background was a nice touch, but still, what a weird game. It's like, how many like different genres did they just kind of rip off to try and make their own like original arcade game? Because nothing in here is, they're all elements from other games that would have been out at the time.
Yep.
Pretty lame.
That's kind of like one thing that I appreciate about Atari games and that older style. Either it's like you're a direct copy of another successful game, or you're some game that's like a wild experiment that's never been done again.
Right. That's very true. And this was a wild experiment and a ripoff.
Yeah.
And it failed across
Had
the
to
board.
get that Pac-Man. Yeah.
All right. So why don't we go back up through the list and we'll decide our picks on what we're going to buy, rent, burn. Andy, can't wait to hear this.
I'm going to buy all three because they're probably worth 50 cents. So why wouldn't you?
Combined.
Just get them in the dollar bin and there you go. Doesn't matter how bad they're out at for $1, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I got to stick to this show, I guess I will take Blueprint for my buy because I think it's probably the most interesting out of all of them. And it's something that like I can't think of another game that's really been quite like that. More like the memory stuff, you don't see that too much. It's more like educational stuff that gets into stuff like that, It's almost like a numbers muncher, like that style game.
Yeah, that's true.
Way back in the day. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. I wish I would have known about the bomb pit. That would have been a lot better. I probably would have had a much better time at this game.
Yeah.
If I knew that I could dispose of those.
Yeah, when you realize it's not just an insta-death, that makes a big difference.
Right. But at the same time, like the first level is what? Memorizing 3 things. Like
that's true.
Once you do that, like that's no problem. And the monster's not hard. And you're not gonna sit there and wait.
Ew.
Yeah. But you're not gonna sit there and play levels and levels of this in this day and age. So I don't know. Still, I'm gonna buy it because I think I had the most fun out of that. Boy, I think my rent is going to be Chuck Norris, and that's only because of it's kind of a predecessor to a lot of games that I do like. Even in 8-bit, there's not too many games that I can think of are like a random encounter that turns into basically a beat 'em up, right?
Right.
Obviously, there's nothing like you're not gaining anything in this game; you're just advancing. So, it's not necessarily an RPG, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I had somewhat a little bit of fun with it when I could pull off the moves. So if I could do that more consistently, I could see this being a pretty solid game for me. And then I'm going to burn my own game. That's Porky's. I don't know what's after the shower. Maybe it really turns into a great game. But I guess we didn't talk about it, but the ladders in that shower are... Well, first of all, why are there ladders in the shower?
Yeah.
There's like 10 ladders in the shower.
OSHA would not approve.
Oh, yeah. It is the worst I've ever played in that. Like, you have to be like in the right spot.
Pixel perfect to make that work.
Yep.
I don't... And I never quite got it exactly. You had to be on the side of it, right? That's the way it seemed.
Like, weirdly, just kind of out of reach of it, then it would work, kind of. I didn't get it.
Right. And it's not like right on next to it. It's like you got to be a little space away, and then you jump up and go. And yeah. And then the jumping was delayed, and maybe that's my emulator. I don't know. But I had somewhat of a problem with that. And yeah. I mean, I guess it has a naked lady in it, so you got to give it that.
So that's something.
Yeah. That game is not great at all. 1983 licensed games sucked.
All right, Justin, how about your picks?
Well, for my buy, I'm actually going to go with Blueprint. I didn't really like any of these games a whole lot, but it's kind of, it's hard to play them, go back and play them right now. I think that's more of it. If I was to play them back then, actually I did play Blueprint in arcade, I believe.
Oh, really? Nice.
Wow.
So I kind of, I knew it, but I didn't really know 100% what to do for it. But so I'm going to actually take that one for my buy. My rent, probably have to go with Porky's, just because I had no idea what I was doing with Chuck Norris, really. I don't really like the game Porky's. It was hard to, like Andy was saying with the ladders. You have to be in the exact right spot, otherwise you just stand there and you get chased by that fat person and end up dying. But I didn't really like that one. I don't know what to do on the same level. I got stuck on that one. I think we all did. But my burn then is going to be Chuck Norris Super Kicks. Just because I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know you could attack really on command with certain buttons. So I thought it was just random, and you had to like get luck on your side. But
yeah, you failed with the Chuck Norris game if you didn't know you could attack. Like, that is not good.
When it would happen, it was just random. Like, I wasn't even near the people.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I'll go back and actually try it now that I know. No, I won't. But
It's not worth it. I'll tell you that much.
I won't.
All right. So for my picks, I'm actually going to buy Blueprint. Also, I think out of all of them, I didn't particularly love any of these games, but I think out of all of them, that's the one that I could look at as like an actual game, and I could maybe go back and play like a level or two before I got completely sick of it. And then I'm going to go with Porky's for my rent, just because them sweet 2600 titties. That would have blown my mind as a kid if I'd have seen that. So, I mean, it's not something, I mean, obviously there are porn games on the 2600, but it's just not something you really see. And I liked that we didn't really talk about it, but I liked that the character sprites were like actually pretty large for an Atari game. Like a platformer Atari game anyway. That was cool. And then I'm going to burn Chuck Norris Super Kicks. That was just, for one, I don't like RPGs, and they threw Chuck Norris into a shitty action RPG with random encounters, which I didn't like. And again, just like, it's the Atari's fault because of like the controller that you had to control that way, but it just makes a game that could have been super fun with a second action button just be an unplayable nightmare because the control and button combo killed it.